So take me through how I determine if it's a good buy. Okay, I've got a Think and Grow Rich book right here on my desk. I've been reading through some of Napoleon Hill's quotes. How would I know if that's a good buy? I've got the Salter here. I bought this for Perry. Perry, are you on here tonight? I bought this for you. This is a present. I bought it for you. It's a 1927.
Nice.
This is a 1927, Perry, and I bought it for, that's your present. So how do I determine, now this doesn't have a UPC.
An ISBN.
It probably has an ISBN. Now, it has an ISBN. Will I have to type that in?
Yes, anything without a barcode on the back, you would have to type in because you couldn't scan it.
Right.
One, I guess, kind of fun thing is that the Amazon Seller app, you can use recognition with it. So you could, if you couldn't find anything, you could hold it up to your camera phone and it would actually look at it and scan it and pull up what it thought you had in your hand. But those older books, it might be a little more difficult because it's just a title and kind of a blank slate there.
Right. Exactly.
Honestly, I skip those books when I'm in a thrift store, when I'm in an office. With some exception, I skip the books that don't have a barcode I can scan.
Right. Okay. So
With some exception.
You're for speed. You're not looking for the winning find or flip, for example. You're working at volume. You're working at speed. So, okay, I just scanned Think and Grow Rich. And so if I look at this, sales rank is 3,372,550. There's 31 new and used offers starting at a penny.
I don't think I would pick that one up.
What do I do?
So for me,
Bye.
yeah, that's right. Welcome by. So I try to make things easy for people because everybody thinks different. And if you think about the word,
I'm just reading, sorry.
It's okay. If you think about the word crap, okay, I know it's not a pretty word, but it's condition, rank, availability, and price.
Condition, rank, availability, and
price.
I have a very small lizard brain, so she had to simplify it for me to remember.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's how it worked out.
No.
So when she told you to get your together, she really meant it.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
right. I've tried to come up with better ones and I really can't. So we're sticking with that one.
This is good. So now condition, what do you mean by condition? You've got to learn to grade these books by condition, true?
Yes. Yes.
How do you grade the books by condition? Because that is rather arbitrary.
Yes, it can be. Amazon recently changed their guidelines. So I'm going to say that they're not rules, they're guidelines. So you need to keep that in mind. There's new, and with any new book on Amazon, you cannot include any condition notes at all. So if it's new, it has to be in new condition. Right. Used books, there's 4 different levels. There's like new, very good, good, and acceptable. So you need to read the condition guidelines, and then you need to look at the book from the customer who is receiving it, their perspective. If they got it, what would they think it was in, not what do you think it's in?
Right, right. Okay, good. Now, do you give it the sniff test?
Sometimes.
Normally
you get it from a smoker, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean by that? Because you get like, maybe it's been in the basement, it smells like mold, or maybe it's been in a smoker's home and it smells like cigarette smoke. When they open it, they're going to get that wafting. You can't say it's new. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so what rank am I looking for?
It all depends on, I think Nick calls it your risk aversion. So
yeah, I came up with that.
Yeah, you came up with that, right? So it depends on how much money you have to invest, how much time you're willing to have that money sitting there not making you money. So
inventory.
like I said, if there's some books ranked 23 million and on up, I would like to have a definitive number, but I would try to stay between 1 and a million. And I think that's a safe place for somebody to stay.
It's a great starter rank to go with.
Yeah, until you learn.
So basically, you would easily buy anything up to $1 million rank. Is that what I hear you saying? For you guys?
Yeah.
As long as the numbers match up with,
Right.
cost of goods and return.
Right. So now if it's going to fit in your ROI and net profit criteria, for example, then you're also, if it, is right condition, et cetera, you're going to go for that rank.
Right.
So, now
we buy books up to 3 million because we don't mind to wait on them if the price is right and the ROI is right. There's plenty of instances where we'll see a book that's, in some unique cases, we'll buy books that are ranked 20 million for unique situations. For example, there are books out there that have a listing, but they're not ready for sale yet. They're not even allowed to be sold on Amazon. They just have a listing there for hold. And when you get a hold of those books, and I'm not talking about advanced readers, I'm talking about an early publisher release, the textbook or something like that. That's something you sit on the shelf, even though it's ranked 19 million or 20 million, and you pull it out when it is available for sale because it'll get there because it's also a copyright of the current year or the future year or even 2 years ahead sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
So, there's all different scenarios, but we usually stay 3 million and under, but 1 million under is a great starter number.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Ms. Shika, guys in the chat, Ms. Shika just put in a link for wearable scanner like Nick was showing us. Nick showing us some of his gear. So cool gear. I need to get that cool gear for my RA trips. I'm gonna challenge Gary sometime to a RA fest, and we're going to go head-to-head scanning and just see what we come up with in a store. It's going to be fun. So got that idea from you, Perry, when you did that, I think, with Elizabeth. So, yeah, Carrie says, let's do it. So, okay, so now if it meets the rank criteria and it meets so condition, rank,
Mm-hmm.
and
Availability.
Okay, what do you mean by availability? Drill on that for a minute.
Okay. Mass market paperbacks are called mass market because there are so many of them. So the availability is extremely high. That means that the price is going to probably be very low for that because there are so many. So you want to look for books that have a smaller availability or a smaller print run. That doesn't mean a print on demand. That means your textbooks, there aren't going to be as many chemistry textbooks as there are going to be Twilight novels, So that's what I mean by availability is the more of them available in the marketplace, right, not just on Amazon, but in the marketplace, the less likely it is to be worth money.
So you want something that has a rather narrow availability. So if it's narrow in availability, that's going to give us a chance to maybe get a shot at a sale on that particular book that I'm holding at that time.
And that's not to say that there isn't money in books that are readily available or there's a lot of them. It just means it's much less likely.
Scale, yeah.
Right. Okay, so condition.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, as far as condition, do you bow out on certain conditions? Is there a condition that you're like, nah, I'm not going to deal with that one? What's the lowest condition level?
Acceptable, for example.
Acceptable.
When a book is acceptable, it could have some minor water damage. It could have, if it's a workbook, it could be heavily written in, but it's still a fine reader copy, things like that. We'll still sell them if the margin's there. And then there's plenty of times when you can get them very cheap and other buyers won't take them because they don't, they're thinking, we're risking bad feedback or we're risking no one ever buying it. They sell just as well as long as you price them to move and as long as you have that play in there. They're great.
Heavily notated in the notes.
Yeah.
Didn't you say there's a seller who they only
crappy books?
They only sell acceptable books and they're I mean, it's like,
The
this has
name of
been
their
ate by
business.
the dog. It's been, covered in coffee. I mean, it cracks me up, but
And that's what they build their business on.
I think so.
It works. Yeah.
It works. Okay. I'm okay with
As long as you're clear to the end customer, that's what it's about, right? As long as you make it clear and you're not hiding anything, they know what they're getting. That's great.
Yeah.
Exactly. Is there a particular ROI that you shoot for? Or are you happy if it's anything over 20%, 30%, 40%? Where's your area that you're happy? Or you're going to settle? I'll just say that. You're going to settle for that. That's going to be your low and your minimum, and you're hoping for more.
How do you want the easy answer, or do you want the
No,
okay?
I want all of them. I want both answers.
Okay. The easy answer is I like to triple my money. The more complex answer is when I'm doing textbooks, I like to buy enough textbooks that I can wholesale, which is a whole different end of the business,
Right.
that pays for the rest of them. So I'll go to, I'll go knocking on doors for a day. I'll spend, $100 to $500, and then I'll gather up that amount roughly worth of books that I can wholesale to a textbook wholesaler. And there's a few of them out there that supply bookstores, brick and mortar stores everywhere. I'll gather up enough of the books that I bought to sell to them to cover my cost. That way, everything I put on Amazon is essentially free.
That's
And you
right.
can't always do that, but so I like doing that when I can. So if I'm doing a big bookstore thing where they're selling me tons of books, we go that route.
Yeah.
Cool. Sweet cream. All right. I like that one. So now, condition, rank, availability, and P for
Price.
price. And that's where you're looking for your ROI. Or is there a price point like per book? For example, if it's, is it a $50 book are you going to buy? Can you buy a book for $50 and sell it for $150?
Especially textbooks. Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't have to be textbooks. It can be a set of commentaries. It can be really anything.
Any nonfiction small print run?
Yeah, nonfiction. We've run into, it always surprises me, math books, like weird math theory books that it was only printed once. And it's from the 1980s
sure.
or something?
There's plenty of textbooks out there or unique high level stuff, like graduate level and whatnot that are, this was originally written in the 60s. It hasn't been revised. The publisher might be defunct and no one else has picked it up. All kinds of weird instances where this book is the book, especially when I go shopping in the engineering offices or whatnot. You'll see that a lot.
Yeah.
Nice.